think about this. And Max, you'll nod your head when I say this. You and Molly, go ahead with this, Ryan. We're watching guys on the football field that are literally running away from tackling. Running away from tackling because they don't want to jeopardize themselves for this. You cannot ask a fan base in any city in the National Football League to sustain being subjected to such an alarming level of ineptitude and then turn around and ask guys to care about the organization in the future when they'll have evidence that you didn't give a damn about them because you kept them subjected to this garbage.
You remember, I'm old, right?
I'm old. I'm 50.
You're the youngest guy on the set.
That's right.
So you remember when Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa finally made it back to the Pride Lands, right?
Of course.
And I remember that. And it was terrible.
I just saw the Lion King for the first time with my kids.
Are you kidding?
No, because it was an old show.
You should be ashamed. It took you that long?
Well, I didn't have kids at the time.
And so Timon looks around and goes, we gonna fight Scar for this? That's how the Giants playing. They're like, man, you want me to go out here and break my neck for this? I've said all along, every time I watch McAdoo do a post-game press conference, I say to myself, he is the most uninspiring coach I have ever seen. Guess what he did for me yesterday? He said, you know what? You're right, Ryan Clark. Guess why? Because I ain't trying to inspire them anyway. I don't want to make them play. I don't want to have to motivate them. Because you know why? Because they get a stinking paycheck. So because they get a paycheck, my job should be to just sit over here, because I don't have to hold his card anymore because I passed it to Sullivan, is just sit over here and watch y'all play.
Well, he hadn't done that either. He hasn't drawn anything
up. And so
when
you look, from the beginning, I said it when the Odell situation, and Odell was behaving in a way that needed to be taken care of. He threw him under the bus. Eli wasn't playing well. He threw him under the bus. And he's continued to roll over players, put it in reverse, back up over them as much as he possibly can. Part of coaching is relationships. It's not just about X's and O's. And when you build these relationships, when you put some emotional money in these emotional bank accounts of these players, they will fight for you. This team is no longer fighting. So if you are Jerry Reese, and if you're thinking about your fan base and your bottom line, which you talk about with these owners, you have to think about, you have to make a decision, you have to get them out and say what's going on is not acceptable.
You can appreciate this. The Steelers a couple of years ago lost their first 4 games to start the season. And I'll never forget as long as I live. A game, it was their 4th loss that year. And they were walking off the field near the tail end of the game. And I saw Mike Tomlin standing, and every man that walked by him, he was like this, just looking at them, just to look in their eyes, to see who had it, who was going to continue to fight. Because if you wasn't going to fight, he's going to get you up out of here. That was the look that was on his face. I've seen coaches that talk about guys having to do their jobs, but those are coaches who do their jobs. And this is a man in Bob McAdoo that isn't doing his job and does not care, it seems, to do his job. He's putting it all on them like he's absolved from it. They have quit on this man. They do not want to play for this man. And if you leave him in that position, you will never be in a position as an organization to hold players accountable if you don't get rid of this man now.
I agree.
Lose as many games as possible. Be smart. Get rid of him at the end of the season. The season's over.
How about lose the game? How about lose the games, Max, by getting rid of him?
Who are you right now?
Why not get rid of him and play Scrubs?
They still lose.
And play Scrubs. I'm saying he need to go.
You might win a game or two. All of a sudden, you're picking 3rd or 4th. I want to pick 1st.
And by the way, someone might want to prove their job. That's true.
This is the worst thing ever.
Or trade down.
Any compassion at all for Eli Manning? Do you see him on that sideline?
I don't see Eli killing himself this year either, quite honestly.
But you look at Eli Manning.
He ain't got to kill himself because they're going to get him killed.
They're going to get him killed. Max, he's on the sideline, man. It was really sad to look at Eli because it's like, I can't be this is bad.
Yeah, but it's also the GM who put no protection around.
Year after year after year.